He's got a new book out, DDP Yoga.
How you doing?
Every single time we see him, he's doing better and better and better.
I like the new beard, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. It's amazing.
Hello.
It's my wife, Brenda.
Hi.
Of course. Sit down.
Pablo says Beth.
Well, welcome.
Do you really like his beard? I'm not a fan.
Were you not a fan of?
His beard.
DDP is positively paid. Okay? He's not going to come in here on a negative note, no matter how much you try to.
I actually completely different look, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think when I think of William Shatner constantly changing his stuff up. Chris Jericho.
Right. Jericho changes all the time.
Constantly change up, and now Sam Roberts.
You too, though. You got to a point where you were like, I got to cut all the hair off. You had
Yeah, dude, I had to.
Yeah.
And you're always, to me, you've always got to be reinventing yourself. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Right.
And
what have you tried that didn't work?
Well, when I came back to wrestling after I tore my rotator cuff, I went with really dark hair, and it just wasn't a really good look for me. I'm a natural blonde, ginger, redhead, but every summer my hair would all be all bleached out from surfing. So I was always like a strawberry type blonde type guy, and that just makes me look healthier. And then I look at some of the looks. We just finished a documentary called Relentless, and it goes from when I blew my back out in '99 to today, because we have all this footage of this entire journey from DDP Yoga and all the stuff we're doing. And there's some times where I was using that what's that called, honey? That Grecian Formula 44 for men or whatever. Oh God! I look at some of them and I go, that was not a good look for you.
We have a coworker that he's an older gentleman at this point, and he uses a shampoo hair dye combination.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's not the greatest in the world.
He dyes his hair with the same paint they use on a subway car.
Just broad strokes.
Yeah,
well, for those
that didn't work out for me either.
For those that don't know, he's got an amazing story, and I feel like your story just as you go, it just keeps getting kind of more and more amazing. There's always something tacked on to the end every time you go. You start pro wrestling when you're like, what, 35? Is that right?
35 and a half. Yep.
So that's when you start training to be a wrestler.
Yep.
And obviously everybody's going, your time's up, your time's passed, it's not going to happen.
You're out of your mind.
You become WCW World Champion at, by the way, wrestling's hottest point. This is during the Monday Night Wars. This is Goldberg and Stone Cold and The Rock and everything. And you're how old when you're WCW champion for the first time?
Well, when I came back, I was 43.
Right.
Because I ruptured my L4 and L5, which is where the whole DDP Yoga thing comes from. And, it looked like I was never going to come back. So for me to be able to come back after 3 top spine specialists tell me you're done, and then 3 months later, I'm back, and then I'm in the ring with Hogan, Sting, and Flair.
Right.
I mean, 3. You could arguably, people will argue that they're the best 3 of all time. You know what I mean? And there's so many guys that are interchangeable, from Stone Cold to to Dusty Rhodes to whoever, Jake the Snake Roberts. But bottom line is, I was in a ring with 3 of the biggest names of all time, and I'll tell you, after that match was over, and Hulk had me put him out in Bret Hart's figure 4 leg lock on the ring post, which really looks like it hurts like hell. And I'm sure if I wanted it to, it could. But he had a bad knee, and he needed to get work done. And he wanted to sort of set things up in an angle for us down the road. And so he went, during that 4-way dance we did, he left early, in the match. And then when I got the world title, and I walked back into the locker room, and it was just me and Hulk. And here's Hulk.
So, by the way, you win that match where you got Sting and Flair and Hogan.
Right. Ric Flair, I thanked him. I never really thanked him properly because we had a little bit of tension in our careers with each other.
How come?
I don't even know, but I never wanted it because I love Ric Flair, And about 9 years ago, remember when they dropped all the balloons for him in WWE? It was like the real retirement for somebody. I thought, man, I'm going to fix this with this. I'm going to try. So we're both at a signing in Jersey, and we're both in the green room. And Rick, came in and he got flooded with everybody. And then he turns around, it's me and him. He's like, "Hey, Diamond." I'm like, "Hey, Rick, can I talk to you for a sec?" He's like, "Sure, of course." I said, "Hey, man, listen, I know over the years me and you have had heat together." He goes, "Oh, Diamond, don't worry about that." I go, "Rick, I'm not worried about it. I want to try and fix it." I said, "I don't know what happened. I really don't. I know I've said some stuff. I know you said some stuff." I go, I don't want to feel this way about you, bro. I go, I love Ric Flair. I said, I would love to start all over again. And I put my hand out and I said, I'm Diamond Dallas Page. And he popped. And he gave me a big hug. And God bless you, brother. And bottom line, that was 9 years ago. And I've had the greatest relationship with Rick since then. So I never really got to thank him the way I wanted to because of the ego
You
and
weren't
the
getting
head
along,
stuff.
yeah.
You know, I thanked him, but I mean, I didn't really thank him. But when I went in the Hall of Fame in 2017, I got a chance to really thank him. And it just felt so good, and I know he felt good about it. And then we're getting ready to leave. Like, you know, you stay there for 4 days when you go down for the Hall of Fame. You've been down there. And the night before, Rick and I are at the bar. And he goes, so what time's your flight? I said, 7:30. He's like, oh, who booked that? I go, not me. And he's like, you're not taking that flight. He goes, you're still in Atlanta, right? I said, yeah. He goes, I got a Learjet. You and Brenda are coming home with me.
Of course he does.
Yeah, of course he does. You know? So the next day, you know, we're Learjetting, limousine riding, Learjet flying with Ric Flair. He found out it was my birthday, and then he wouldn't let me go home. So he took me and Brenda to dinner, and, you know, he's just he's a super special guy, and I'm just so glad that we're in an awesome spot.
Everything is good, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do before? You wrestled when you're 35. What did you do before that?
I was in the nightclub business. I was running nightclubs since I was 22. You know, and it's so funny to meet Jake the Snake Roberts. Like, the story is I tried to wrestle when I was 22. I had 3 matches. I sucked. I hurt my knee, and I got my first opportunity to run it was a rock and roll bar. You know, 1 bar, band in the back, small, but it was fun. And I'd been in business since I was 17. Started a day crew, bouncer, bartender. I'd done everything except for manage. So now I get to manage this place. So,
Where was it?
It was in South Orange, New Jersey. It was called 23 Valley Street, and there was 3 bars right next to each other. So it was a great little hub. And what happened was, I got that opportunity right after I banged my knee up, and I was starting to wrestle, and I sort of got away from the dream. I left it
Because you're making money.
and it's the booze, the broads, the
Yeah.
party. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Right.
When you're managing a nightclub, are you able to meet women?
The booze, the broads, the party. No, it was a lot of fun, and I kind of got lost, and I didn't really. You know, I was making good money, and I had a great time, and I sort of left the dream of, you know. And every time I set a goal for myself, I pretty much come pretty close to hitting, or I rocket past it, and I just sort of lost it. And then I'm flicking the channels. No, in the 80s, it's like 78, 79. You know, I'm 62, so you know. Wrestling hadn't blown up yet, but in a couple of years in the 80s, it blew up. You know, it was, you know, Hulkamania and everything. And I was so mad that I didn't pay my dues. I stopped watching wrestling. And then one day I was flicking the channels and I see Gorilla Monsoon and this guy with this do-rag and the freaking sunglasses, and it's Jesse Ventura.
We were just talking about him and Ozzy. Yeah.
I mean, he pulled me in. Like, who is this guy? I got dressed up as Halloween that year, you know. But the next match that came out, he had a bag over his shoulder, and it's Jake the Snake Roberts. I'm like, who is this guy? So now I'm sucked back in watching. And I leave the club that I was at. I end up in a club down in Fort Myers, Florida, that I'm running, and it's a big place now. We got 6 bars, 12 bartenders. You know, place is humping. You know, 1,000+ people on the weekends. So if you're in Miami and you're going to Tampa and you're wrestling, like you do a loop, you do different areas. Well, that's 300 miles. Right in the middle is Fort Myers. So Jake stopped off there. And I was in the back, and I'm looking at the mirror, you know, the cameras at the front door, and I'm thinking, God, that guy looks like Jake Snake Roberts. So I run around the outside of the building because it was too packed in the building, in the club. I run around the outside, and I go to my girl at the front door. I go, Judy, did a guy just walk in here look like Jake Snake Roberts? She goes, yeah, God, everybody thinks it's him. So I go running around the corner. When I see him, I slow down because I got to be cool.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. Yeah.
Like you happened upon it.
And I walked up to him and I said, hey, man, I go, you Jake the Snake Roberts? Who wants to know? I said, the guy who runs the place. He goes, Yeah. I said, what are we drinking?
Yeah.
So-
because, by the way, who wants to know? And you go, the guy that runs the place, he's like, okay, free drinks.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm Jake the Snake
Exactly.
Roberts. Yeah, I am.
And what Jake, when you really think about it, we became drinking buddies, and he'd come in occasionally. Ted DiBiase, Bushwhackers, Janetti, and Michaels. I mean, so many guys came through there. But the whole thing with Jake, when you really think about it, we started off as drinking buddies, and then later in the resurrection of Jake the Snake, I'm trying to get him to stop drinking.
Well, here's the wild thing about DDP is that, so, he comes back to wrestling. He comes up with this yoga method for himself. He starts to develop it into a business. He starts teaching other people. He starts, coming out with DVDs and all this stuff. And, the thing about wrestlers is that they're all carnies, right? Like,
Sure.
wrestling is a carny business. So when DDP Yoga came out, when you started pushing this
Right.
thing, I'm like sitting there going like, okay, like I like DDP, but what's the angle here? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? And then
Because you don't think yoga is very masculine? Is that what you're saying?
this isn't your mama's yoga, Jim. This is a different type of yoga. But no, I'm going like, okay, like this is a sales job, right?
Well,
like
like,
because a
people-
lot of wrestlers will do stuff like that. But
Right.
then what DDP did was he goes, I'm going to take Jake the Snake Roberts and I'm going to take Scott Hall, who was Razor Ramon. And these are two guys that for the longest time, anybody that had like a wrestler death clock list thing, these are the two biggest sort of
1 and 2.
tragedy stories, addicts, just messed up all the time. Every 3 months, another story, like just waiting to get that awful phone call one day. And DDP legit moved him into his house, said, I'm going to get you guys better, filmed the whole thing. And all of a sudden you go, holy shit, this thing is real.
Yeah, the
Like, this
documentary
is-
was great. I remember
This
that.
is real. Yeah.
And anybody who hasn't seen it, it's on Amazon Prime right now, and Hulu just picked it up as well, which
That's
is really
great.
cool because other people will get a chance to see it. And I always tell people, if you have someone, there's a lot of wrestling fans listen to your show, but a lot of ones are not wrestling fans.
Exactly.
But I challenge anybody who hates wrestling, because it's not about wrestling, to watch Resurrection of Jake the Snake, because it'll definitely change your skew, on what you think. And
By the way, you showed ugly stuff in it.
yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
not this,
we filmed everything.
Yeah.
It was over 500 hours. And my buddy Steve Yu, who's the president of DDPY, which now I'm branding everything, as you can see, DDPY. Why? Because I want people to stop calling it just yoga, because it's not. They want
It's
to
a lifestyle, Jim.
Yeah, and people. Have you ever done yoga?
I mean, I've tried it. I've
So
tried
you've
it.
tried it.
Yeah,
You've tried
but minimal. I can't say I've even done it. I've for a few weeks. Yeah, I did try hot yoga. Yeah,
Some
you
trouble
get
with
an
it.
idea what it was.
Sure.
If you walked into that, and you walked into mine, you'd go, "What the fuck is this?" It's like,
Right.
this isn't yoga.
Right.
Like, yes, but no. So, bottom line is, I'm trying to get people to stop calling it yoga, and it's going to just yoga. I'm good with DDP yoga, but it's all about branding. Everything. It's like, what's the name of the show?
Jim Norton and Sam Roberts.
Right. If it was Bill, Tuesday and Sam Wednesday, that wouldn't be the name.
Right.
People wouldn't know how to find it. You
Right.
gotta, and you gotta give something that people can understand. And so, DDPY, like, if people could say P90X, if they could say that, and everybody knows what P90X is, tell me what it means.
Right.
Nobody knows.
No clue.
Nobody knows.
No clue.
But it was a great workout, and it did 500 million units. So obviously it worked. Obviously it worked.
What do you do for 90 days? Is that what the one?
Yeah, that was a 90-day
Yeah.
deal. But everybody, if you can say P90X, you can say DDPY, and it's going to take me about 3 years. But that's a little piece of the branding and throwing it out there into the universe.
Well, yeah, I mean, when it started, it wasn't DDP Yoga. It was
No, yoga for regular guys.
Right, right.
And it's like reinventing itself.
Right.
Reinventing itself. we're about to, and it's not yet, but I know it's so close I could talk about it. We're about to sign a partnership with the NFL alumni.
Wow.
That's great.
How cool is that?
That's huge.
That's huge because I want to be able to help you, and I'm giving it to these guys.
Yeah.
I want to. There's going to be a couple that'll start, and then those guys are going to see their friends start to feel better. They're going to see them start to get more mobile. They're going to start to see them get stronger. They might lose weight, whatever it is. It was never about weight loss. Did you happen to see the video that went viral over Christmas?
Which one? You always have viral videos popping up.
It's a guy's name was Vance Hines. He was he's a district attorney.
Okay.
470 pounds. Now this is how it happens. This is how powerful the internet is. Bert Kreischer, someone had said
also 470 pounds.
Yeah, that's right. Very, very fat.
Bert, someone had said to Bert, you should have DDP on your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'd love to have DDP on my podcast. So I went over to follow Bert, and I see this guy, he's got a camera, and he's holding the camera out, and he's videoing himself without his shirt on. He's 475 pounds. He's a district attorney. He's 52 years old. Now, you know how those guys do the Sober October thing, right?
Yeah, of course.
So last Sober October, he's sitting there and they're talking, and Kreischer says, I'm going to run a half a marathon. And they're going, yeah, right, fuck you. You ain't running anything. They're making fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
He ran it. When, he filmed himself going over the finish line, the whole deal. And when Vance saw that, he thought, you know what, if Bert can get off the phone, I can get off the couch, so can I. So here I see him about a month and a half later, he's down about 15 pounds. So I just tweeted him. I said, hey, man, if you never need any help, I can see you're serious. Let me know. And he DM'd me back. And he said, I'm sorry, but I had no idea who the hell you were. But when you said you offered help, my Twitter lit up saying, if you don't, you can get DDP's help. You don't take it. You're crazy. He said, I used to say no to everything. He said, now I'm saying yes to everything. Yes, I'll take your help. 1 year to the day, Jimbo. 1 year to the day, he lost 198 pounds.
Jesus. Wow.
And that's just from eating real food and eating real food and doing my workouts, but not just also walking too, because he couldn't really walk that far in the beginning. But you get stronger, you can do things that you want to do. And then he wanted to do jujitsu. And I go, dude, I love jujitsu, but not good for you. Like you're 52, you're a beat up athlete, and no, I can do it. I said, let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to get hurt. You're going to feel good, and then you're going to push yourself. Then you're going to get hurt.
Isn't that what people said to you?
Yeah, but I'm not saying never do it. I'm just saying not yet. You're
not
still
there yet.
340 pounds.
Gotcha.
Like let's get you down in twos. And bottom line is, he hurt himself, and he was so embarrassed.
How did he hurt himself? Just doing jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, because you start rolling, and if you're keeping it really nice, where you're just going from one move to another, it's easy. But then ego kind of steps in, and you just kind of think, well, he's not going to do this to me. And I think jiu-jitsu is the greatest. Every single kid should do it, because bottom line is, if bullies and everything, jiu-jitsu, how many bullies going to be screwing with you?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
Have you learned
to do.
jiu-jitsu yet? I saw photos of you and Matt Serra shirtless, and I couldn't tell the difference.
Matt is totally bald. I have a little bit of hair.
Okay, I'm going to have to go back and look at that.
Yeah.
You know Matt Serra, the UFC fighter?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we...
But you haven't looked into learning any, because you were talking about doing jiu-jitsu.
I know, I want to do it, but I have sleep apnea. I'm a terrible sleeper, so I'm always tired. And it's like Jimmy Rivera from the UFC, he reached out to me. He's like, dude, he has a gym not far from my house. Like, I'm just really stupid. It's something I want to do it.
If you just start doing it, it's like I just tell everybody, if you just start doing anything, the more active you get, the more energy you'll have.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to food, like what you're eating. I try to educate people, watch Food Inc., watch Genetic Roulette, and when you understand what they've done to our food, you'll kind of understand why you're so lethargic.
But I don't understand. I watch these.
My eating is actually pretty good. Like, I have 3 donuts every morning.
That's the exact
charged up.
example. You're just lucky you have great genetics, you can stay skinny.
Thank you.
But you're like skinny fat.
I watch all these documentaries, though, and I feel like every time you turn one on, it's another food and another food and another food. And I haven't found what you can actually eat. I feel like no matter what, there is some documentary that will tell you this isn't good either.
This is bad, yeah.
Yeah, but no, because if you're eating organic,
Is that an excuse I just made up?
Yes, you did.
I see.
Yes, but no.
I see.
People get comedians especially busting balls on. Oh God, organic this or organic that, or organic. What our great grandparents used to call food. Because everything was fucking organic. I mean, like everything. And now it's not.
Right.
And if you really want to, if you look at the numbers in the last 30 years, what's happened with cancer, like through the roof. Think of the pesticides on the vegetables. Like, take any pesticide, spray it on your tongue, see what happens.
I've had worse.
On your tongue, chest, back.
You bet I have it in my hiney.
Oh, good God.
That's a high protein diet, so that should be fine. Yeah. What would you say at this point is the thing that like you're most proud of? Because you put out this book, Positively Unstoppable: The Art of Owning It, and it is like what I like about what you're doing is everything's in here. Right? It's not like if you buy this, then you buy that, and then you buy that. Like I was reading it, and it's part your story, it's part all the yoga techniques, it's part recipes.
What techniques?
Yoga.
DDPY. DDPY techniques. It's not yoga. There's dynamic resistance. There's all this stuff.
Right.
Part DDPY techniques, but it's like it's everything packed into the book. But what do you think is the thing that you're most proud of? Because you had the Arthur video that you've seen, Jim, that went everywhere. That kind of launched the whole thing.
I think Jake's movie. You know, because if it wasn't for Jake, I'm not sitting here. And I always there's times where I got to go because Jake come in to stay with me all the time, and my daughter Lexi, she said one time she said something about Jake and is he coming back? I said yeah. She goes, how come you guys are so tight? I said, Lexi, we're probably not living in this house if it wasn't for Jake. I remember him and Dusty Rhodes helping me back in the day. For me, that movie, it meant so much, and it really changed so many people's lives. And then maybe the next thing is like this Positively Unstoppable book, because it's everything that I try to teach everybody, but I can't talk to one person all the time. I can specialize, and I really work with people. Like, if you know how many people I was working with right now that have reached out and put the video out, just like Vance did, and that I've reached out to, and then I give them the list. And the list, which is in the book, tells you all the things you need to do. Like, what did Arthur do? What did Vance do? What did Stacey Morris do? They took the pictures, they took the measurements, they wrote their goals, they started writing down what they ate. They literally started changing their life. They actually started owning it. That's what they did. I used one example after another in Positively Unstoppable. And when you have that, it's almost like I'm with you, going through it with you. And the bottom line is, if I see you online and I see you working your ass off and you're getting these transformations, you're putting the work in, you're going to hear from me. You just are. Right. Because I really do. When you see at Real DDP or at DDP Yoga on Twitter or Instagram at Diamond Dallas Page or at the DDP Yoga, sometimes people on Twitter will get a little upset with me and they'll go, man, DDP, you're filling up my feed. I'm writing all inspiring things to all the people. I go, hey, monkey, I'm not doing it for you. Stop fucking following me.
Yeah, or just mute you for a week.
Yeah. I don't care. If you don't want to see this stuff I'm writing, get rid of me. Don't follow me.
Right.
I don't care if there's 3,000 people or 33 million. I want the 3,000 that are actually paying attention.
How do you, a couple years ago, you were on Raw, and you showed up, and the segment that you were on, you were wearing a DDP Yoga t-shirt. Yeah, you were doing DDP. Like, it was basically just a commercial for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, how does DDP just show up and Vince is like, hey, you want a commercial?
And they don't blur out the
nothing's
thing
blurred
that they
out.
do on
He's
TV.
sitting there like holding his foot up in the air, doing a move, like he's teaching DDP Yoga on the show to the characters. And I'm going like, this is literally the greatest commercial anyone could ask for.
I'll tell you, there's a great story behind that. But I got to tell you, a lot of people have been asking me all about, and we'll get to this, I'm sure, Cody Rhodes and what's happening with AEW. And are you going to go there? It's like, you have to understand, I love Cody. He's like my nephew. And I will help him and do whatever he needs me to do. But I'm a WWE guy. And I'm a WWE guy because it wasn't the greatest when I got there, but the last 8 years have been amazing. And
Jim, when DDP showed up to WWE for the first time, the storyline that they sacked him with was he was stalking the Undertaker's wife.
not a good angle for me.
And everybody sat there and like he revealed himself, and everybody's like,
great pop when it happened.
Well, because you were there, but then really quickly, everybody's like, why would DDP be stalking the Undertaker's wife?
Right.
Did he not like that storyline?
No. And, and it really, it was what it was.
Doesn't make any sense.
Let's beat down the WCW guy. Let's beat him down bad. But, it was okay because I knew I had to just breathe and just keep my mouth shut. And eventually, what I did in WCW was going to rise back up, especially with the Hall of Fame. And they gave me so many opportunities from being the host of, the Monday Night Wars, as far as, the Best of Nitro. There were so many cool things. On that show particularly, they started bringing me in for different shows too, which was great. But that show particularly, that was the show that Jake was going to show up at.
The one that we're talking about where you got your commercial on Raw for,
And nobody knew. Nobody knew except for me and, Triple H, Vince, of course, and Jake. And they had Jake super hidden, stuck in a bus and everything. And Triple H came up to me. He goes, all right, D, he goes, just do that thing you do. Get your stuff over and, do the foot over the head thing. People love that, And, that's how cool they've been to me. So, I'm a loyal guy, They've been really good to me.
That's amazing that you just show up. They're like, just get your shit over and, you'll be good.
It was amazing. Now, let me tell you what happened from that.
Yeah.
It shut our servers down. Like, we got hit with so much traffic that it shut our servers down for DDPYoga.com that we couldn't sell anything for like 8 hours. So here's what that was a godsend, because we're about to go on Shark Tank about 9 months later.
Which I was reading about just last night.
And if that doesn't happen to us, my business partner, Steve Yu, doesn't come up with the idea of, let's put on 25 servers as opposed to one.
Right.
So because if we're going to get hit, we made $1 million off of Shark Tank without a deal in 5 days. 5 days. I mean, it put us on the map that year. It literally, and they play it all the time.
I know, so you must get those hits, especially because, see, we were literally just talking about during the break. Every Shark Tank is on Hulu, so people go crazy for it. Right. And CNBC
all the time
literally plays 9 hours of Shark Tank 4 days a week. So
when we're on that rotation,
right?
And it always gives us some sort of credibility, and it pops our sales.
They didn't give you there was no deal though.
No, well, I wasn't going to give them any kind of money. I didn't want their money to begin with because we were already successful by that time.
The story about it is actually great because you talk about not only once you got there, but getting there, they make you sign this contract apparently,
right?
Where even if you don't get a deal, ABC gets a cut of the business. ABC gets to control the promotion of the business, so you can't be going on other shows.
I couldn't go. I wouldn't be able to come on here. I would have to check with them first. Right. And if I was going to do it like a little Fox thing where you're going to come and be at a DDP Yoga workshop, they want to film me, I would have had to call ABC first. It was ridiculous.
And is that forever?
No, it would only over that 18-month period.
But for the next 18 months.
But when the contract first came out, the 5% that ABC got, that was locked in.
In perpetuity.
Right. In perpetuity. Wow. Whether you got a deal or not. But they did kill that. They stopped doing it that year. But what had happened was, the thing I learned, if I just did my business a little differently when I went to WWE, if I would have done what I did at Shark Tank, it would have been a whole different story. If I would have got up from the table and said, Vince, this is an awesome idea, this stalker angle, but not for me. When you want to do People's Champion versus People's Champion, give me a call. The People's Champion was The Rock,
Right.
biggest star in the world now, which everybody is so friggin' proud of, man, because he is the man. But at the time, I was originally People's Champion, and he was using it, so it would have been a great angle. If I would have said, what if I would have just got up from the table and walked away? So I thank Vince so many times, and last time was when I went in the Hall of Fame, but I thanked him because if I didn't go through that, I never would have learned. If you really believe in yourself, you need to get up and walk away from the table. So Shark Tank took me 5 interviews, and then they make you fill out 27 pages of shit, basically signing everything over to give them control. And I was getting ready to go to Chattanooga, and my business partner Steve he's like, "Hey, bro, what are we gonna do about the contract?" I go, here's what you're going to do. Send him an email, say, "I appreciate the opportunity. We love the show, but we're going to pass." And he went, "What? We've been working on this for 2 years." I go, "Dude, I can't let anybody put me in a box again." I said, "We will either make it on what we're doing, or I'm not going to put."
Because ABC is going to make you stalk the Undertaker's wife again. You're going to be stuck.
It wouldn't be a good idea. So bottom line is, it was a great move. They called me 90 minutes later. As I was pulling in Chattanooga, how do we fix this? And it just, I learned.
And you told them what you didn't want in the contract.
Exactly. And 4 contracts later, I finally signed it. And it was the greatest experience for my company. It was just, as a businessman, it was an amazing. Shark Tank they'll be around forever, I think.
It's the best show ever.
And it's real reality.
Yeah.
It's not that bullshit reality. It's like what you see now, you don't get to see everything because it's an hour they film you. And Mr. Wonderful at one point looks at Steve and he goes, "So let me ask you, in the world of fitness, back then it was Beachbody, Gaiam, which is yoga, and really nobody else. Everybody else, you could fill probably the Met Center with all the DVDs that celebrities or athletes have done to try to sell. Jane Fonda did it well, and it worked.
She did, yeah.
But most
the workout videos from the 80s.
Yeah, right.
Very sexy.
It made millions of dollars.
You like those?
Oh, yeah.
But
Did you have those as a younger man?
I didn't, but I peeked at them when I could. You did. She was a very flexible young lady, for a communist.
She was hot. She was hot back then.
Yeah.
But the bottom line, he's like, how do you guys make the money? And Steve said, "We inspire people." He went, yeah, that's great. But how do you make the money?
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful is not trying to hear that. Mr. Wonderful doesn't care what you're doing to people unless it's fishing money out of their pockets.
Right. I go, "Dude, we inspire people. That's what we do. Like, that's our method of how we get the word out." It's like Positively Unstoppable, the book. Right now we decided we're going to do a Positively Unstoppable challenge, where if people go to positivelyunstoppable.com, they can sign up. If they transform their body, it's going to be your body and your mind. They'll have a chance to win $1 million.
Jesus.
And
how do you know if they transform their mind? They might just be lying.
No, you got to write stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's going to be written stuff in there. And there'll be questions, and there'll be a written thing at the end. So the body is like, this is an example. If you're going to take pictures, the person, if say 2 people look kind of similar, had this great 4-month transformation, and this person has a newspaper that says January 21st on it, and the other person doesn't, that person's going to go up the ladder because they can qualify everything. Videoing their workouts. Like, the thing that was so amazing about Vance Hines' work, his video, is he filmed himself everywhere. We had when we made a video for him, we probably had about close to 400 hours because he would tape his workouts and you just zip through some of that. But to catch him talking, and actually have that moment where he's desperate. And so many people don't have hope. And this guy inspired so many people. We did over 22 million views on YouTube in 7 days.
Oh my God.
22 million. Friends of mine were going, "Dude, I've seen that video like 3 times. It's going around the horn. People sharing it."
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that? And that's him right up there. Vance loses 198 pounds in 1 year. and it's a great story, and he's a great guy.
Yeah. Now, handsome Rob over here. I literally didn't know this until this morning. He's sitting there in the office, and we're just kind of chatting about what we're going to do on the show today. And he goes, and this is a quote. Travis put it on the prep sheet for us. I love DDP Yoga. It's fun. It's awesome. You get to make the workout your own. Like, he's doing the lines. And I'm going, no, Rob, you don't. And he's like, yeah, he never mentioned it.
Oh,
he never
tremendous.
told us. He does DDP Yoga. Rob, do you want to, do you have a favorite DDP Yoga?
I'm a big fan of the Red Core workout.
Red Hot Core.
Red Hot Core. Yeah.
Jim, you don't know these though, right?
Red Hot Core? No, I don't.
It's great. It's like 12
I imagine it
minutes,
works on your abs.
and it's just abs, and it's awesome.
Do you want to see some examples?
I'd love to.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Could
I
you
have
actually?
a before picture because I got it in December.
You
and
really are. You're
I
doing
actually,
this.
yeah. I mean, I
This
figured
is
why
not
not?
set up, people. This is not.
I swear to God, I would have
I didn't
told
know
you
that
before
you were
I
coming
talked
in
to
or
you.
anything like that. I just figured I saw all these videos of people getting transformed and everything. I was like,
You
yeah, why
started
not?
as a twink. What do you want to be?
Oh, I want to get like kind of more cut,
Buff,
I
say
guess.
buff.
Yeah, you want to get buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be a
So,
hunk, Rob.
Yeah.
I want to be.
Admit it.
Yes, I do want to be a hunk.
Exactly.
So
Yes. Right now he
So
spends
let
the
me see.
world.
Let me see your before and after pictures, bro.
well,
But you know this isn't a set because I talked to you 3 days ago. I would have told you if I had known.
I love it. This is what happens, dude. We got in the car the other day. My wife and I. We were leaving my friend Kent Backler's party, and we got in an Uber. And then me and her were talking, and we weren't talking to the driver. And at some point, I say something about DDP Yoga. He goes, "Oh man!" The driver goes, "That stuff really works." He goes, "I do it for my back. I've gotten all over all my back pain. You got to. I mean, what he did for Jericho. That's why I did it." And Brenda goes, "Do you look in your rearview mirror yet?" And he goes, "Oh my God, DDP!" This is the funny part, though. When he pulled up, I go, "Hey man, you mind if I sit in the front seat?" No, you got to sit in the back. So he made me sit in the back, and she goes, "And you wouldn't let him sit in the front." He goes, "You want me to pull over right now? You can sit in the front."
Why would he say no to sitting in the front?
Some people don't want to be right there, They take them
Oh,
out. You
yeah,
know?
sure.
There's a lot of weirdos out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I wouldn't feel much safer with you behind me. I mean, we've all seen the Clemenza scene. Fucking.
Look at the intense look on Rob's face in his
That's-
before
He,
photo.
That's
literally
before.
looks like the guy from 10 to Midnight who was running naked down the street that Bronson had to kill. What a creep.
This is the cover of the New York Post, and it says manifesto under it.
Yeah, it does. Man with pepperoni nipples goes on spree.
I haven't taken an after one because I'm not finished yet or anything like that.
What's that group of guys that are mad that they can't get laid?
Oh, incels.
This looks like an incel membership card.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'll teach them to tease me.
Should I take off my shirt and show you?
I was just thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go for it.
of course you should.
Unbutton it. What are you doing?
No, he pulls it
It's
up.
a button shirt. And he takes them both off like it's a.
I got two in there, but yeah, I mean,
Looking pretty
I
lean,
feel,
brother.
You're getting
I
abs.
feel
Yeah.
a lot
Looking pretty
better. It's
lean.
like,
Is
you
there
know,
is there a
Look at
yoga?
him.
Is there a DDPY move that can shrink the nipple size?
yeah, is there,
No,
Yeah.
they
the
don't
nips-
exist.
That's embarrassing.
but I feel a lot better. I feel more energized every day. It's good.
The abs look really good. Is there anything that works on the muscle tone of the arms of the chest, or like you just doing abs?
Hey, Jim, that's insulting the way.
No,
I'm doing
Because it
a
sounds
lot
like you're
of the-
saying he has meaty breasts.
I'm
Not
doing-
meaty, no.
I'm
Oh,
doing
okay.
the diamond dozen a lot because 2 years ago I had a herniated disc and a pinched nerve from golf, and that's like my favorite sport ever.
Right.
And so
Cool.
I'm trying to just get it fixed.
So for how long have you been doing it?
I started in December.
So
Only a month.
Here's what I'm going to tell you: is work your way up to that diamond cutter workout,
Yeah.
or that double black diamond, because that'll really work your whole body big time. Cool. Goes from like my beginner workouts start in bed. Like you can't get out of bed. I got 3 workouts for you in bed that'll help you get in a chair, and then I got 8 workouts in a chair that'll help you get out of the chair and use the chair. And then you work your way to beginner, intermediate stuff. I'm talking to him about is like advanced stuff that will not only, because of you're not just stretching, you're stretching and strengthening the muscles, ligaments, and tendons, that you end up in a spot where your golf. I want to know how far your long shot is right now.
My drive?
Your drive, and where it's going to be next year.
Okay.
Like
Sure.
it will increase. I've had guys increase 60 yards,
Yeah.
like
Right.
60.
Before you put your shirt on, I
Yes.
need to, it's important to know, I think, if you've got the guy right here, you don't want to be doing it wrong the whole time. So don't you think some of his technique should be looked at?
100%, because I don't know. I'm not familiar with the workout.
Right.
Okay, that's good.
Right.
Come on over here, my man.
This is great.
Come on over here.
This is good stuff.
Yeah.
First thing I want to do is square your body this way here so we got the
We
camera.
should, mic
Where's
it.
the camera? It's going to be over there?
Yeah, we got one
I'm
right
boosting
there.
All right, back up just a little bit. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to get you on using a dynamic resistance. All right.
Okay.
So what I want you to do
Look
is
how much smaller Rob is than DDP.
Yes.
They're not even the same species.
Yes, it's just a man talking to his son or
now,
daughter.
instead of your feet going out, turn them in. There you go. Now slightly bend your knees. Now I want you to grip your toes into the mat or your sneakers. No. Stay
No.
there.
Bends
Just grip
over.
Your toes. Grip your toes. All right.
He's used to
now
it.
I want you to try to
Grab your ankles.
First thing he does
don't make it that monkey.
when there's a taller man. Right? Yes, sir.
Okay, spread your legs and grab your ankles.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm trying to do here is get him engaging muscles, because every time you flex or engage a muscle, your heart has to beat faster to get your blood to the muscle.
Of course.
So again, you got your heart monitor on right now?
Good.
Put your heart monitor on right now.
Let's get that heart rate up. Let's get it up. Let's get it up.
Let's see where you're at.
Come on, Rob, today.
Come on now.
What's your heart rate monitor? Wait.
He's got the Apple Watch on here.
Jesus Christ.
I know what he's doing.
Thanks a lot for nothing, Tim Cook.
Yeah.
do.
Steve Jobs
There
would
you
have had
go.
his heart rate going already.
Of course he would have.
Okay, we were looking for a number. Let's see.
85.
Oh, 85. Okay, 80. You're at 80 right now. Let's
Is
see
that
what
good?
happens. You're right. Well, that's, he's pumped. No, 65, right? 69.
Now that's accurate.
69.
Okay, so 69. Watch it, Jimbo, right there.
There you go,
63.
63.
He's
Oh
in
my
great
God.
shape. 63. All right, so let's see what happens when he starts engaging flexing muscles.
Okay.
So what I want you to do
Right.
is I want you to grip your toes into your sneakers.
Okay.
Now I want you to try to pull your feet together, but don't move them. Work the adductors. Tuck your tailbone, squeeze your glutes. Reach out and grab the ball. Open those fingers wide. Wide. Awesome. Now,
Squeeze, Rob.
create your own resistance as you're moving. Inhale, take it up.
Squeeze.
Take it longer, higher. Exhale, bring it down. Push your thumb and index fingers together tight.
God damn, look at this
Inhale,
body.
take it back.
Yeah.
Arms out through a T, clench your fist. Hold it up, brother. Tension. Shoulders back, chest out.
Yeah.
Where's your heart right now?
Going?
67.
What?
74.
That's not
Seven-
true. That's
What?
not true.
Look at that. Look
That's
at
not, that's not real heart rate.
Look at the welt DDP left on.
DDP left.
He left.
It's like Denzel's back in glory.
DDP left a welt on Rob's chest.
I can take my heart rate from I walk around 80, 85, sometimes 90. I can take up 130, 140.
That quick?
Doing it that quickly.
Did that hurt your chest, Rob?
A little bit.
Let me tell you something, Rob. It is an honor to be. You could for your life say that DDP chopped you.
Yeah.
that's
No,
an
that's a
amazing
good chop. That's a good job.
Look at
there.
that mark.
And I was left-handed.
It's not bad.
Good job.
Oh, thank you.
thing. Rob, if
Hey, Brendan,
DDP,
we'll get a picture of you. No, I want to get it while it's red.
yeah, get it while it's all red.
Get it over here, honey.
If DDP chopped me and left that mark on my
put that
chest,
right
I'd get
here.
it tattooed on.
There you go, right there.
Look at that.
I
We're
was
getting the
pushing.
Jim. Would you like to get chopped across the chest?
No, I would not.
No, me neither.
No, I would not. DDP's a large man.
He's big.
What are you, 6'5"?
6'4".
Yeah, he's a big guy.
And I used to be like 260, and I hated that weight. It was too big for me. I like now I'm like 230, and it's a good weight, it's easier on my knees.
Yeah.
It's at 62. I'm constantly trying to hold back the hands of time, so I don't want to be beating my body up too much.
Well, you look like you're in better shape now than you were when you started wrestling in your 30s.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people say that. It's not the wear and tear of that road is unbelievable.
Right.
Chris Jericho, I was just with him out on that boat cruise he did.
He did Jericho did a wrestling and rock
Oh, wow.
tour where he had comedians, he had bands, he had wrestling. He
Oh,
had everything.
nice.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man. It was sold out. It was people had a really great time.
Brad Williams did it.
Did he? Okay.
And Chris, you know who Chris Jericho
I
is,
do,
right?
yeah.
Chris, 7 years ago, herniated his L4, just like, and I blew out my L4 and L5. But Chris herniated his L4. Couldn't sing. Couldn't. They was done wrestling. They're done. I turned him on in my DDPY program. In 5 weeks, he was 85% pain-free. In 3 months, he was 100% pain-free and headlined WrestleMania with CM Punk. And let's forget about that. That was 7 years ago. He just headlined in the main event at Tokyo Dome in the main event at 48 years old, and they stole the show.
And he just, I mean, they just launched a new promotion around him as the biggest star.
Right.
You know, like he's.
I tell you what, I couldn't be any happier for Jericho because everything, like if anybody gets owning it, it's Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And like he wrote me a really nice thing for the book. He read the book, and we're actually going to do something at the end of this month talking about it. But, we become really good friends out of the business. And, for so long, I've wanted to pay him back for telling everybody because he told everybody about it. And he gave me a level of credibility amongst the boys. That's what we call ourselves. And now it's probably 50 different of the guys who are top guys who do my stuff,
How's your chest?
It's a little painful.
Does it hurt? But the heart rate is still up, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
You feel it?
That was a good
Now
slap
it's
to
up
the
to
chest.
98, yeah.
Yeah, he really did. That was a full-on chop.
And that was a baby chop. That was like an off-angle, left-handed chop.
That wasn't your Dr. D. David Schultz
No.
move? Yeah.
I grew up watching him,
Did you ever see that clip where he slapped John Stossel in his ear?
Oh,
Of
my
course.
God.
Yeah, I watched that recently, actually, for some reason.
Yeah.
Man, it's a shame because it ruined his career.
Yeah.
Because
It did,
after
right?
that, because Stossel knew about it, but he didn't think Schultz was going to hit him like that. But I mean, it's not checkers. That's how we hit each other sometimes.
Did he know he was going to hit him?
He knew, and all of a sudden he did it. And Dave had to take the friggin'. I was bummed when he got, booted down, because he never wrestled again. You never saw him, and I loved watching that guy in the ring. He's legit badass.
Yeah.
Like, he's a bounty hunter, like the real deal.
Is that what he does now?
I know he was doing that for years. I don't know what he's doing now. I never got to meet him, but I was always a big fan of him.
Is he dead?
No, he's still alive. But there's certain guys in the ring. You see him in the ring, you say, "Man, that's a real life badass right there."
Would you get back in the ring and do anything, or are you not?
Nah, I'd still, if WWE called me to do a diamond cutter or something,
Yeah,
yes.
jump in the Royal Rumble.
What's the diamond cutter?
I catch you out of nowhere with my move, and we go, and you're going face plant first, and if you can go with me, and it's kind of you're good, or I can take you and you're going.
So the diamond cutter is your move.
Yeah, it really was the thing that made my career explode. Because
I don't know. For me, it was self high five.
Self high five. Self high five.
When he was a bad guy, he would do self high fives.
People go to high five me, and they went there and self high five.
Yeah, I loved it.
But the diamond cutter. One of my greatest moments was I got a phone call from Jake, and all I heard was when I picked up the phone, "Congratulations." I'm like, "Jake?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Congratulations for what?" He said, "Reinventing the DDT," which was his move in the 80s, and it was the move of the 80s.
Yeah.
And my move was absolutely the move of the 90s. And today, you can't watch an independent wrestling show and not see like 12 of them. Because there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah.
So guys try. I mean, sometimes my jaw drops when I see Frankie Kazarian friggin' catch one out of friggin' the moon. Like, this is an example.
Yeah, they say this is the best diamond cutter ever. Eddie Guerrero takes it.
Hey, sets him up. Spencer. Could be another diamond cutter. No, sets him up. Looks like he's going to have a power bomb. Emotions for the diamond cutter. The power bomb set up by Page.
Boom!
Oh, wow.
I lost my mind that day. I lost my mind that day. Because it's Eddie's move. Like, Eddie walked up to me, and Eddie was one of the greatest ever.
Eddie Guerrero.
Ever, and a great guy. He came up to me because the move is super over, and he knows I'm going over. He's like, "Hey, D, you ever think about doing diamond cutter out of a power bomb?" And I was like, "How the hell would we even do that?" And I grab him, and he goes, "Boost me up on your shoulder." So I roll him up on my shoulder, and he says, "All right, boost me." So all I did was like throw him, and he spun, and he slid down my back and landed on the ground. I went, "Wow, Eddie, if we could time that. I only did that once.
Yeah, well, because
Yeah.
you need somebody like Eddie Guerrero to pull it off, right?
Rey Mysterio,
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero. He was phenomenal in the ring and a great guy.
But you have to pick the other guy up.
And
It's a lot of work.
You don't want to do all that.
No, I do not.
I mean, you can do the move without picking them up, and that's why a lot of people do it, because you could do it to anybody. But for it to look that cool, you're right. You're not trying to lift because they're so heavy, right?
Yeah, it's over 200 pounds. No,
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I certainly don't.
So, Sam, it sounds like you actually read Positively Unstoppable.
Well, yeah, I did, because you yelled at me and told me that I had to. I wasn't going to show up and not read it, you know?
It was funny because Stone Cold, he only read the first chapter.
Yeah, that was the other thing. When you told me Stone Cold said that he wished that he read it, like,
Yeah.
if DDP's telling me to read it and Stone Cold wished that he read it, I'd have some balls to walk in here
Sure.
and not have read the book. But the book, it's available now. Positively Unstoppable, The Art of Owning It. And it's everything. So, you know, if you love DDP and you want to just get more DDP, get the book. If you have no idea what's going on, but this all sounds interesting, get the book. It's like it's half, or it's a quarter memoir. It's a quarter self-help. It's a quarter fitness. Everything's in there.
It's one of the things too that fits into our program, so well, because with the app, have you ever looked at our app? I don't think
I haven't looked at the app. No.
The app has like over 180 workouts. Again, it started with laying in bed and go to a chair and work your way up to. So that when he said, make the DDPY your own. That's
By the way, those biceps are still flaring.
They sure are. And I guarantee. Can we see your chest?
Yeah, let's take a look
I
at
want
the
to see if
chest,
there's a
Rob.
handprint in his chest. He could have just lifted the shirt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Let me see that. Come over here. Oh, my God. Look at, oh, my. There's the thumb.
You can see the thumb.
There's the fingers. There's the index, the middle finger. You can see the different fingers. That's amazing. You got to get that tattooed on.
Look
dude.
up, Rob. Look so you can take a picture. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And get the flash on
Hey,
it,
Rob,
Troy.
is that a badge of courage or not?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's courage. It's honor. It's everything.
Wow, what a great! Literally the handprint is across. You can see the finger separation.
My wife was going, no, what is he doing?
Do fans ever ask you to do that at like signings?
No, they do all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, just waiting for an assault. Like you just hit them too hard, and they're hitting you with an assault lawsuit or something. Like what?
Do you feel that on your chest still?
Yep.
So back to the app.
Right, the app.
All the different workouts, but I've also got recipes in there. So when you're telling me what should I eat, I'm not even going to tell you what to eat. I'm going to cook it for you. And it could be me and Brenda, or me and one of my kids, and, or one of my favorite chefs. And I show you how to eat real food and explain, what it is that we're doing. And literally, it's a cooking show. And then I got Motivational Mondays. Every Monday, there's another motivation. It's over 180 Motivational Mondays up there. So when people tell me how depressed they are and how down they are, well, what do you focus on? What is your lifestyle wrapped around? If it's all around negative shit, of course you're going to be depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surround yourself like I don't ever watch the news, mainly because it's fucking depressing. So I don't want to hear how this
You didn't
girl
see
was-
Donald Trump get Clemson a whole bunch of fast food.
Oh God, I can't watch it. I can't watch it. I can't watch CNN or I was actually watching for a while, and I was getting so mad. Brenda walked over and turned off the TV. She said, "You're not allowed to watch the news anymore."
Wow.
Because it's a negative, and I want to be surrounded around positive shit, because you can have that too, and that Positively Unstoppable, I believe, gives people it teaches them how to live that same lifestyle. And that's all I'm really trying to do, is give them one more tool to help them own their life.
Yeah.
Changing your life, that's cool, but owning your life, that's a whole different level.
Are you owning your life, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the disastrous parts, it's my fault.
As long as you own it, brother, as long as you're good with it, that's how I feel.
It's my fault.